Joining me now is New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee and the Republican Conference Assistant Whip. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. What do you make of what Newt Gingrich just said? This is not just impactful for the American people. This is going to be impactful for your midterm elections. Okay, if you don't pass the extension of the tax cuts the way you all promised, you're going to have issues with your own election.
I absolutely agree with Newt Gingrich, and that is the message that myself, House Ways and Means Chairman, and the other members of the committee have been expressing to our leadership and to the Senate and to the incoming president as well. It is so critical that we deal with the tax extenders early in the year. As you know, many of the provisions have already begun to sunset, some have expired, and there's so much at stake. We're talking about an across-the-board tax increase that will take place, not just on individuals, but on corporations as well. And then you have the doubling of the standard deduction that will be cut in half. The child tax credit will be cut in half. And so there's a lot at stake, and it will be hurtful for American families and our economy. And I think what we're looking for is some type of certainty, whether it's going to be a permanent extension or whether it's going to be a long-term extension, plus some of the provisions that President Trump talked about on the campaign trail, dealing with, relieving the burden of taxes that our seniors on Social Security pay, the tax on tips issue, as well as overtime. And then you have the SALT issue, which many New Yorkers and California feel strongly about, that we need to have some type of SALT relief added to this as well. So there's a lot of different issues at play here, and it is challenging because we will have a majority of either one or two. And in 2017, the TCJA, it passed, and 13 no votes from Republicans. We don't have that to spare. So it is important that we start early. Our tax teams have already been putting together options of what this could look like, what the cost would be for each of these provisions and how we pay for them. And we need to get this in the beginning with energy and the border, not put it to the end of the year because there's too much at risk.
So do you agree with your colleagues in the Freedom Caucus who sent a letter to Speaker Johnson last week and said it is imperative that we first send in January a focused and quick border reconciliation package that is fully offset? They're saying two packages. So it's not just John Thune in the Senate who wants the two packages. He's getting this letter from the Freedom Caucus sent to Speaker Johnson, who also wants two packages.
Well, as you know, the border is important to all of us, and so we want to address the border, but I do get concerned about splitting this into two separate reconciliations. The last time the House was able to achieve two separate reconciliations was in 1997 with Newt Gingrich, but he had a much larger majority. So if we can take the concerns of the Freedom Caucus with the border, which we all do share, and we want to see that done, and couple it with concerns that some of the fiscal hawks and Ways and Means and budget folks care about the tax cuts, and then we take some of the energy provisions and the deregulation that is also big, particularly for those energy-producing states. You can build a coalition around something that I think can pass. But if you split it up and people get what they want, one thing or another, it may jeopardize the tax cuts if that's the last thing that we're dealing with.
All right, let me move on and get your take on these mysterious drones, Congresswoman. I mean, look, this is, it's in plain sight, right? You've got these mysterious drones flying over New Jersey and the Northeast, and officials are telling us that they pose no threat. If they pose no threat, why is the Intelligence Committee getting a classified briefing on the situation today? Why not just tell us what's so classified?
And I've requested to be a part of that briefing, even though I'm not a member of the Intelligence Committee, and I think that I have the right to be there as somebody who is most affected by this drone activity, representing Staten Island and southern Brooklyn. They keep changing the story on us. First, they were saying that these were just planes that we were seeing. Now they're trying to convince us that they are actually stars in the sky, and that they're recreational and commercial drones. If that's the case, why are recreational and commercial drones flying over sensitive infrastructure, including military installations? That should not be. It's not allowed, number one, by FAA regulation, and they need to crack down on that if that is the case. So I truly believe that this is our government conducting some type of maybe tests on new equipment, perhaps counterterrorism activity, perhaps they're just trying to do sweeps of port cities to just in case of an emergency. I don't know the exact reason, but I think that the public does deserve to know. If it's classified, they don't necessarily need to tell us the details, but at least tell us that it is our own government, because people are concerned. And you and I are in New York City. We've seen these drones. We are a densely populated community. Okay, I'm concerned about this public safety aspect of this. If there was just a crash or an explosion of one of these things over buildings, over people, which, by the way, is also against FAA regulations if it truly is commercial drones, as they say.
All right, Congressman, we're going to be watching this. Obviously, we all want answers. We'll see. Thanks so much for weighing in on that. And Nicole Malliotakis, good to see you so much. Thank you.
Same
Quick
here.
break, and we are getting a better read on the consumer this